Here we have the USS Strickland DER333, commissioned in 1942 and finally decommissioned for the last time in 1960 in Bremerton, Washington. This is a model for Flight Simulator, Microsoft's Flight Simulator FS9 or FS10. As you can see, it's a very detailed model, built to scale. She's 306 feet long and 36 feet wide. Normally carries a crew of 8 officers and 200 enlisted. Although as a DER in the Pacific, she carried a lot less crew. Normally ran about 115. You can see there's a crew on deck, and no ship is complete without a set of seagulls flying around his fantail, waiting for garbage to be dumped. Ship carries 2 3-inch guns, neither of which work, and they didn't work on the original ship either. By the time she was decommissioned in 1960, parts were impossible to get for these guns, and when they broke down, they were down for good. We also have, they're sending us a message. That semaphore sends Morse code by light, and they're saying hi from the crew of the USS Strickland. Well, okay, actually they're not. It's just gibberish, but it looks cool. The 4 flags up above are the ship's call sign, NTMJ. Each flag represents a letter of the alphabet. It's a nice day today. Crew are out on deck, but we can call them in. Send them inside. Now we'll go take a look. There's the GPS. Tells us if we're on course. We're going from Pearl Harbor to Bremerton, Washington to be decommissioned. This was the very last cruise that the USS Strickland ever made. Here we are on the bridge. One thing about a destroyer, and especially the DERs, they're very top heavy, so it didn't take very much to make them pitch and roll. Now we're sitting here with pretty calm seas. We're not doing much rolling, but we can change that in a hurry. And now you can see why a number of people got seasick on these tin cans. I was fortunate and never got seasick aboard the Strickland. But a lot of other people did when weather hit us like this. And we started rolling. Because they're top heavy and they have all that heavy radar equipment on top. USS Strickland, 1943 to 1960, and of course the table to plot the course with, because back then they didn't have GPS. Oh wow. Yeah, well, if you're tend to get motion sickness, this might bother you a bit. And here we are moving along through the fog. Now you may think that this looks kind of unrealistic, but it's not. It's very realistic. Any tin can sailor can tell you that the ship will roll, and a lot more than what it's doing right now. This ship is very well balanced to be unbalanced. It can actually be made to roll where the water is coming up along the railing. So this is a fairly mild roll, although Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't give you the option to change the surface of the ocean, but you can simulate it.
General quarters, all hands man your battle stations.
A ship like this didn't carry lifeboats, just carried life jackets, except when the ship rolls here, you'll be able to see the captain's boat. He's the only one that had a boat. That would be lowered over the side sometimes in port when the ship wasn't tied up, and the captain could go ashore just using his boat. And so that's the USS Strickland for Microsoft Flight Simulator 9 and 10. And there she goes, off on her last voyage. Except in Flight Simulator.